Ah, there we go. Oh, readjusting this is so long. How are we doing, guys? Oh, let's get up. Right, deadline day. Let's do it. We got T minus, what was it, like 90 minutes to go. Still no signings come in. I should really get my laptop up. 1 minute, guys. Let me know your thoughts as well in the comments, guys, on how you think this is all going. Deadline day in general. For me, it's not looking too good, in my opinion. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hello. Jordan Ibe's coming is the first comment. Well, let's take a look on my laptop here. We're going to be finishing off most of this deadline day. I don't know how long I'm going to do this for, but I'm going to be trying to do some of this deadline day with you guys. See how much we get through. I don't think there'll be too much happening. I'm not expecting much happening, to be honest. In my opinion, I think that overall in this window, it is very demoralising that we haven't made more of an effort to go out and try and bring in some targets. I love the approach we are trying to take in the last 48 hours or so, which is going for players that are young, like 21 years or 22 and under. Top talents from the Championship, trying to bleed them into the Premier League and try and give them a chance. I love that approach, but we're doing it so late in the window. Why can't we try it a little earlier? I know you get better deals later in the window. I know that. And we've had some cracking deadline day deals in the past, don't forget. But it's so frustrating that we don't get business done early. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's so frustrating. Thank you guys for all coming in now to the stream. Thank you so much for your support. Get your comments coming in. I'll obviously try and catch them as they come through. Oh, thank you very much, Cape United, Peterborough fan in the chat. Jordan Ibe looks like he's going to be coming, but at the end of the day, that's our third choice winger that we've targeted in this window. Carrasco being the first, doesn't look like that was ever going to happen. But when you see the deal that Atletico got for him, you're thinking, why didn't we have a plan at him, you know? Not saying we would have ever got him. I know that is quite. I don't think we ever would have got him in, but you know, why wouldn't you have a go at trying to get him in when you see the deal that Atletico managed to sign him for, alone with something like a £12 million option to buy or something stupid like that. Then obviously our second choice, we go to Jared Bowen, who was probably the first choice, and we got him essentially. What we thought was a £16 million deal. We later found out today that was more of a loan to buy option, which is why Hull kind of put it off and wanted to look for something to try and get other people to come in. And obviously West Ham have hijacked the deal effectively. But when you have a loan to buy, I was never expecting anything to come from that. Ross Murphy saying there, Easy from Easy, I think it's Easy is how you pronounce it. Easy. I really wanted him to come in, youngster again, but really dynamic midfielder, exciting midfielder. Looks like he'd fit into our style, and obviously looks like he's got a lot of sauce. You know, we've got when you look at Zaha and Balassi in the past, and Benteke at the moment, Batshuayi when he was on loan, you know, Sacco. There's a sort of style that some of these players have, and he would have fit straight into the squad. I think no problem whatsoever. And all of them have ended up going downhill. You've got the West Brom lad, as a few of you were mentioning already. Sam Lawrence, well, hello, welcome to the stream, mate. You've got him as well. Nathan Ferguson looks like he's having problems with his knee in the in his medical, and it still remains to be seen whether or not that does go through, despite him having gone our way. Some of it's unlucky, but I don't feel much sympathy, to be honest. I know it's hard to spend money when the owners don't want to spend money. They want to sell the club. I think that's clear. They don't want to stay with Palace anymore. And why would you spend your own money into the club when you want to sell? The problem comes there is then why we're stagnant. In the last 3 transfer windows, the highest fee we've spent on a player is £2.5 million for Jordan Ayew. And that says it all, you know. No money spent on the defence since Roy Hodgson's come in. It almost shows you how much. It makes it even more impressive how Roy's been able to do what he's done with the squad, to be honest, when he's had no financial backing whatsoever, realistically. We've done very well with loan signings, but you can't live off of loan signings. I've seen it on Twitter as well, there's a lot of Yanks out, and to be fair, I think that the Yanks want to go out. It's about who they sell the club to. That's really important. We've seen with Fulham in the past when they sold it to, I can't remember the guy's name, you know, with the big tash, and he owned Carolina Panthers, American businessman, something Khan, I think is his name. They ended up getting relegated. They spent a lot of money that season, got relegated. You know, you've got to be careful. You have to be careful, which is why I'm not angered like a lot of people are. I get the people's anger. I get Palace fans' anger towards not spending money and being stagnant and not looking to progress and not looking to strive for more. And I get the frustration. I honestly do. I'm frustrated. The reason I'm not going that one step further and calling for like Parish or the Yanks heads is because I genuinely think that Parish wants to spend money but doesn't have funds available to him because the Yanks don't want to give it because the Yanks want out. And there's a lot of hashtag Yanks out, and I get that. I think they've got to go for the good of the club and for good of themselves. They're not making the most of their money, are they, at the moment, being owners of Palace? Since they've come in, really, they've got to go. And I think they know they've got to go. That's why I'm not forcing that down. Yeah, football ultras, that's right. I don't think Parish necessarily is the problem. I think he can only deal in terms of, you know, he's given a budget by the owners and he's got to deal with that. So yeah, I get the Yanks out comments, I really do. But I do think the Yanks want out. It's not like they're staying here against the fans' will, and I don't want us to turn into like a Man United or an Arsenal. We're not that sort of club, you know. Let's be real. What we're doing right now, finishing mid-table season after season, is Palace through and through. We have no right to be doing better than this. We have a right to be striving to do better and to look and have a projection, have an image of what we want to do in the future. But we have no right to be up there with the top dogs, really. We don't. It's going to take something special. It will take funding, of course, which is why a lot of this frustration has come from. There's been the lack of funding in a few years. But you go back to the windows before that, and I think we overspent by a large amount. That window when we bought in Luca, Sacco, Van Aanholt, Schlupp, all in the same January window under Allardyce, and before that when we brought in Benteke for 30 mil. I think those windows, we overspent our budget by a considerable margin, and we've been paying the price for that for the last few years. Doesn't make it better when you have players like Wan-Bissaka being sold for 50 million and we still don't bring in people off the back of that. I think that's wrong. But I think there's two sides to everything, every situation that people bring up. A lot of Jordan Ibe comments in the chat, and again, I feel like Jordan Ibe, we're going down to it's scraping the bottom of the barrel now. I think anything we get in now, unfortunately, unless it's something insane that no one was expecting, I think it's going to be a panic buy. And Jordan Ibe hardly features for Bournemouth. He's on big wages. Is he going to cut it for Palace? We need cover at winger. It's a position we do need. It's not like we don't need a winger. If we were getting if this was, say, a midfielder of the same sort of ilk as Jordan Ibe, I'd be very, very annoyed that we are. I'm not as annoyed because we do need a backup winger. And I think if he's going to be a backup to Townsend or Zaha, that's fair. Whether he can fill the boots of Zaha when Zaha does go in the summer, which I'm convinced he will, not convinced there whatsoever. So I do think it's a short-term fix. According to Bridgie, Ferguson is Ollie Watkins in the summer, please. I think it's going to be unlikely we get Ollie Watkins. Again, though, I like the way the club are trying to get in these young, exciting, really promising talents from the Championship. Bowen, top scorer in the Championship. Ferguson, one of the top fullbacks statistically in the Championship. Same with Azy. I'm going to screw up his name every time, so I apologise. The young guy from QPR, you know who we're talking about. I'm going to screw his name up all the time, so I apologise. You know, all of these are top players in the not just in their age bracket, but in the Championship right now, in their positions. And we're going for them. And I like that approach much better than what we've been doing recently, where we're going for like 28 and above, you know, players in their prime right now. We got an ageing squad, and the club are looking to bring the best talent in our price bracket that can reduce the average age and can only get better. And I like that approach, which is why I think Ollie Watkins going for him I'm more convinced we would go for him in the summer, because it fits the sort of approach we're doing in this window, which I like, this new approach. Problem is, would he come to us? Would we spend the money that Brentford would ask for him? All of that, I don't think we would. I don't think we have the money to spend right now for those sort of young players, because that's the downside. It's a great approach to have, but the better they are, even in the Championship now, you're looking at 20 million for top players, young players in the Championship, and that's like a lot of money. So for us, it is a lot of money. I know we spent 50 mil, we got 50 mil in technically from Wan-Bissaka, but not all of that goes into the transfer budget. A lot of that will go into the academy, and you know, we've got plans to make this brand new academy to take us to a Category A academy, the first Category A academy in South London, which would be brilliant for the future in terms of getting a fee for youngsters that get sold to other clubs, you know. And So a lot of money goes into that. It's not all about the transfer budget. So there's a lot of factors. My overarching thoughts here is, as frustrating as it is in the window, I am on the side now where I am as frustrated as everyone else, but I am looking at it. I'm trying to look at it from the owners, or at least Parish's point of view and the club's point of view. And you've got to understand there's two sides, I think, to every situation. Thank you guys for coming in and watching. Really appreciate it. Getting the thoughts coming in. Let's go on Twitter. Let's take a look at some of the stuff coming in over deadline day. True, everyone hated Ayew. Jack Allen thought, what are we doing getting him in on a permanent when he has such a poor loan? I think Jordan Ibe, he's had so much time out of football. There are question marks over his mentality, whether his head's in it. That'll be interesting. I think it's not the worst signing in the world, but it feels like it's a panic buy. It feels like it's a little bit desperate. Yeah, he's a bench in a nice way. Yes, Sam, he is probably a bench warmer at Bournemouth, but a bench warmer at one club, a different manager may like him and start him regularly, you know, at the same sort of level. So, but it is a little bit demoralising, really, when you look at the players like Bowen. I'd love Bowen in the team. I thought that was a great link, and the fact we were going for him was I was really happy with that. But not to be. Niasse, it's like the Kumar Babakar stuff, isn't it? It's literally like a deja vu there. Ross Murphy, yeah, he's signing for West Ham, unfortunately, as I mentioned at the start. Red Bull A2, how long is Tosin injured for? I'm not sure, mate. I think a couple more weeks. Yeah, it was a muscle strain, as far as I'm aware. Just looking through now, really at the Twitter feed, at least, some interesting stuff. An unnamed Premier League club have made a late move to sign Emmanuel Adebayor. That'd be interesting to see who that is. We all know about Emmanuel Adebayor. If he wasn't a waste of space when we had him, he'll be a waste of space now, let me tell you. Get your comments coming in, guys. If you're not a Palace fan, welcome to the channel. Obviously, it will be very Palace-based, this, and if we're linked with a player from your club, then we'll probably touch on your club briefly. I'm not going to be in here too long, guys. It's near the end of the transfer window. We've got about an hour and a quarter to go. I just want to get my thoughts coming in towards the end. I will still be on Twitter and social media, giving my thoughts out there as well. What does make it more frustrating this window is the fact we've let Wickham go, or he's about to go to Sheffield Wednesday on a loan, and we've sold James Daly on a permanent. I'm really disappointed with that, because I thought James Daly is pushing. He's knocking on the door for I wouldn't say a starting spot, but he's there or thereabouts. He's there, an academy player pushing for a place in the future. You know, at least getting time off the bench, and it doesn't look like we're going to be really going for that, and that annoys me. That annoys me that we weren't giving him that. Didn't really feel that, and we decided selling him, just to sell him, not even a loan, to sell him to Bristol Rovers. I would have totally agreed with loaning him out, but to sell him, disappointing. Players like that, you know, I'd love to see him. Nia Kirby, these are the future of the club. It's very hard for them to break into the first team, I get it, and I say future of the club. We're more than like, even so, I think Daly, Nia Kirby to a lesser extent, definitely Tyreek Mitchell. You know, these players are all obviously Pierrick. These are all players that I think would have got more game time in the next year or so, and have a really good chance, if they have a good pre-season, etc., good cup games or something like that, to really make a claim for themselves and try and push themselves into the first team, or at least get game time in the first team. So I was really disappointed to see James Daly go. I don't know about you guys. Put your comments down below as well, guys, if in general, how you feel. Obviously, you've got Scott Banks that's gone out on loan, youngster. Why do you even sign him? To be fair, mate, he was never going to start. He kind of went straight to the academy. Live in the academy for a year. That's not the case with us. Wales, obviously, going to that's from. I think talent, and quite slow my Twitter at the moment. I get the Twitter feed's the best way for me. Apologies if it keeps cutting out. To be in for too long, I just wanted to give my genuine thoughts on this window so far. Fingers crossed we can get something coming in over the line soon. When Palace get this new investment, Ross Murphy, I think will probably be when the Yanks eventually go out. Blitzer and Harris, as I said before at the start, I think they want out. It's about who they sell the club to, all parties. I think they do want to. There's a lot of players I'd love to get in. I'm going to go now and try and. there's nothing happening at the moment, guys. So I appreciate you watching, but I don't think there's going to be much action happening. As I said, this is great young talent. Again, I think going into League One, League Two is a bit risky. Stan going down the league right now, so a few of them would be agreed for Oumar 6 mil plus add-ons. Yeah, Dominic Fifield as well. 38 minutes ago that was, but yeah, it confirms it pretty much. It's typical, really. You know, I think we're scraping the bottom of the barrel now. We've run out of the targets. We tried to go for targets late as a tactic. I think starting from yesterday, it hasn't worked out. Hopefully Nathan Ferguson gets over the line, but in some of the bigger targets like Bowen, it hasn't worked out. And it's clear that our backup plan was to just go for a player that we almost got in on deadline day a few years ago and left it too late and broke down in talks. And we may still break down in talks now. I've only got really an hour to get the medical and everything done. Niasse, I think, is an okay player, but he's time. Is he going to really come in and he will be a backup centre forward, but we need a new starting centre forward realistically. And is Oumar Niasse the guy? Equally, would we be able to get a player like that in the January window? Potentially, if we had broken the bank. But again, don't think we've got the money. 6 mil plus add-ons for Niasse isn't still in the world, but is he actually? What is he actually going to do? I'm not that sort of thing. And he's knocking on a bit, as in terms of our squad, which is already an aging squad, he's not adding that much. We are looking to negotiate a deal for him because of the slight niggle on his knee. You know, the niggle on his knee, the knee injury, I think will affect the price we do pay for him. I think that he definitely wants to come to Palace. We definitely want him. If we get him and Niasse, it's okay at best. Again, no winger though. It wouldn't really address the situation. It feels like scraping the bottom of the barrel. Nathan Ferguson feels like a good signing, but Oumar Niasse is a bit demoralising. It was a bit like Tosin when he came in. Tosin proved me wrong with the way he played against City, for sure. He shows he's got something to offer. I think Niasse will have to do the same. But thank you guys for watching. Yes, I agree, Ross. Hodgson is doing fantastically well with the squad without the funding. He's doing a brilliant job. Comment below your thoughts. Obviously, Sheffield United tomorrow. Be sure to check out the vlog for that. Not feeling too confident with that, especially with the signing Sheffield United have had. They've had a brilliant window. But fingers crossed, I'll be staying tuned here on my on the news here about Palace. Looking like Niasse and Ferguson are going to be the signings we make. If Ferguson is still touch and go, whether that will go through. But looks like Niasse will happen. Will we get any others? We'll find out. But obviously, stay tuned. I will be on Twitter and everything, watching and stay and getting involved, you know, with stuff. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and keep this chat going. Obviously, watch some other streams out there. I know Back of the Nest are doing one, and there's obviously some of the other Palace fans will be doing bits and pieces. So be sure to watch them. And thank you guys for watching. And best of luck to best of luck to Palace and the boys. Hopefully, we can get something done late on. God, this club, sometimes my heart goes for it. It really does. Joke.